live to this news conference.
Treasurer and other ministers to immediately seek to engage with the sector together with health.
So that was prior to the, we'll call it a riot, but a mini riot or whatever you want to. That was prior to that?
No, it was a scheduled meeting in the afternoon that is regularly scheduled.
Yeah, but is it prior? I mean, the point being is, had you made the decision before the CFMU issue had arisen?
Well, the decision's made by the public health team, and then that's relayed through the cabinet processes to government.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's important because, well, basically, did you make the decision to shut down construction before the CFMU riot or not?
The decision was made by the public health team, and then that was referred to cabinet processes, and the cabinet processes were during and after that process. So the formal decision, in terms of the public health teams, referred to cabinet, that occurred in the afternoon.
So before the CFMU business.
In terms of the recommendation from the health teams, I'd have to exactly question as to when various events started, but it was well in train. But formally, it was made by the public health team upon recommendation of cabinet. But I'm happy to throw to the Treasurer.
Yeah, well, I think the truth is the public health team were making their decisions around public health issues, probably contemporaneous with the events that were occurring at the time around the CFMU's headquarters. But of course, the point that we've been making is that these are decisions for the Chief Health Officer. He reports to, in this case, we had advice provided to the Coordinating Ministers Committee of Cabinet. That was after Cabinet had met because obviously we needed to hear what the public health advice in a broader sense was, rather than simply the issues that did themselves constitute a public health issue around the location of the CFMU's head office. Quite frankly, the more concerning issues, the broader non-compliance advice that we'd had right across the industry, rather than the rather dramatic events that were happening out the front of the CFMU offices.
So just to be crystal clear, had the public health team made the call prior to the riot escalating at 4 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday?
Look, I think it would probably be fair to say that advice had gone to us in the CMC meeting that happened about 4 o'clock yesterday. And essentially, I think formally, the Chief Health Officer didn't sign off on orders till later that evening.
I can take you back to Chanel's question.
Protesters right now heading towards State Parliament. That's why you can hear the chopper at the moment. What are you going to do to make sure that this doesn't happen every single day for the next 14 days?
Well, we've made it clear that the actions that people are taking are not helping. As the Premier is want to say, protesting doesn't work against this pandemic, and this is a very substantial circumstance that the state is confronting. While I say it's a profound economic event, but more important than that, it is a profound public health event, and we have to prioritise that. The fact that people are taking the action they are is illegal action. It is against the orders of the Chief Health Officer, and it constitutes a risk to public health. The police will do what they can to manage those events and to bring people into line. But of course, there is only so much that police could do to stop people from not only harming themselves, but putting their families and their communities at risk. So we will continue to seek to enforce the Chief Health Officer's orders around people not congregating and protesting.
Was it a mistake to bump up the vaccine to a mandatory status for construction rather than just keep it at the 90% higher threshold that you initially had in place?
I think you'll find that the government's view around these issues is that it is vitally important that we get as many jabs in arms as we can. And at the moment, we're closing in on 75% of first dose vaccination. So it's pretty clear that there's a fair degree of appetite in the community. The figures we saw the other day is quite a clear demonstration that there is a growing appetite for people to get vaccinated.